Happy New Year. I am so excited, and it's very strange to say, but the reason that I'm excited is that for the first time in years, I don't have any New Year's resolutions. And that is quite strange for someone like me who is so into self-growth and inner work and healing and setting goals and preparing for the best possible future. But a lot of things happened in December that gave me a whole new perspective on things. And I have realized that there is this whole other way for me to prepare for my best future, and it's actually by setting no plans, setting no goals, only trusting my body's own intelligence and letting my body decide. If you have not set any New Year's resolutions, or you have, but they just don't feel as important to you, or you're not just really inspired, maybe this is your clue that you don't want that. You want to give your body space to decide for you. Because we are not supposed to heal forever. We are not supposed to work on ourselves forever. Sometime, at one point, I think our body just comes into the picture and says, stop. And that's what happened to me. Because the thing that makes this so interesting is that I've always loved living in calendar time. Like going to bed, saying goodbye to the day, and then being able to wake up to an entirely new day with blank pages. And going through seasons, shifting seasons, and especially leaving one year behind and entering a new one. It just comes with so much hope and possibility. And so I've always loved in December each year to sit down and reflect on the things that I want to leave behind, that I don't want to bring with me into the year that is coming, and sort of just going through what did I learn about myself this year, what did I not like, what was not giving me energy, and what lessons can I say thank you to and leave behind. And after that, working on and reflecting on what I want the new year to look like instead. So of course I did that in the end of December 2025 as well. And I could put down a lot of things on my list that I didn't want to take with me into the new year. I reflected on what I learned about myself and how I came into those situations that I didn't especially like, and what to do to avoid that happening in the new year. But when I got to what I thought would be the most fun part, to write down my goals and ambitions and desires and values for 2026, I just couldn't. I couldn't find anything to put on the paper, and I tried for several days. But I do see why that happened. In December 2025, the shit really hit the fan. And I don't need to go into details about it, but there were so many outside happenings, things coming crashing down, and really a lot of times I just found myself asking, am I being punked? Is there a hidden camera somewhere? How in the world can all of this stuff be going down in just a couple of weeks? Let me just summarize it by saying it did not feel good at all. And my body, my mind, nothing could make sense of what was happening or why it was happening. But I still had this sort of gut feeling that I would know at some point. And I do now. What I realized was that all of the things that happened that didn't feel good, they really showed me. They really showed me what it is I was ready to rid myself of, what my system was constantly attracting that I needed to work on or tend to or fix. But it was just so massive that it was impossible for me not to notice it. And that's when I realized my body is refusing to join in of any more of this stuff that I keep reliving and experiencing and tending to. My body is saying, stop. I won't be a part of this anymore. I want to rest. I want to integrate all of the healing work, all of the inner work you have done by resting. It's kind of like I was really being shown what I have been constantly putting my body through from all of these things that I keep attracting and keep making myself believe that I have to tend to, that I have to fix, that I have to work on. So over time, because I learned from this, I could see the patterns so clearly when reflecting on this. Over time, maybe the past 15 to 20 years, I have been training my body, my system with my mind. I have been training my nervous system to believe that it doesn't matter what challenges comes my way. I can just constantly work on myself, find new ways to deal, find more love to act from instead of reacting, finding new ways to communicate, finding ways to lift my energy and my spirit so that I will always be prepared to meet these situations in the right way and tend to these situations. What never crossed my mind, which is almost embarrassing to say, is that I don't need to be a part of these situations. They are not there for me to constantly develop myself, reflect on myself, heal myself, do my inner work to be better in facing these challenges or situations. What if I just don't tend to these situations? What if I don't see them as my responsibility to fix? I am a master of taking responsibility for what is not mine to carry. So what I realized in that situation, or after all of those situations happening, when I was later sitting and reflecting on the new year, I realized my body is now saying no. Stop using your mind to override my emotions to make me feel better or handle things better. Stop being in these situations. Stop accepting all of these challenges. Let me rest. Let me allow me not to take any responsibility that is not mine to hold, and allow me to stop working on myself all of the god darn time. And that is why I could see that is why my body doesn't want any New Year's resolutions, any goals, no more healing, no more reflecting, no more inner work planned for 2026, because it's my mind that wants that, not my body. And what I have been doing most of the time is listening to my mind and giving my mind what it wants. And just letting my body be a part of that. But I have been consciously utilizing the mind-body connection to always make my body feel better. So that's why I've been handling all of these things for all of these years without burnout or anything, because I have been generous in my mind to make my body feel good, should I say the best it can in these circumstances. Like, my solution to every challenge and every life situation has been just work on yourself, work on your reactions, work on your response, work on your ego, and you will be better in handling these things. So my mind has been given all the airtime. And when I look back to my latest videos in 2025, I can see the pattern leading up to this realization, because I removed myself from the mind and started looking for ways to find presence, to be present in the moment instead of always somewhere in my head. And that opened for me actually realizing how much I've put my body through and blamed my body for, when it was actually me creating it or choosing it with my mind. So I moved further away from my mind and more into my body. I can see that when looking back at my latest videos. So I think everything just happened the way it had to make me truly come to the point where the shit really hit the fan. And it was impossible for me to not see what was going on in my life. My body doesn't need to be worked on. My mind doesn't need to work on anything anymore, because I have been doing self-growth for I don't know how many years. I have been reflecting and bettering myself and becoming more and more. Enough. My system is just saying enough. You have been giving me all of this inner work, but you have failed in giving me time and space to integrate that work. Let me rest. Let me be bored again. Let me time be actually me time. Because what I also realized, which was almost scary, is that the pauses I've been having in between always tending to something or someone, always fixing something, always bettering something, when I finally get a break and some me time, my nervous system has been trained to think that this is my time where I self-reflect. This is my time where I open for my own creativity. And I can see why I thought that was purely a good idea. But I also can see now that I have never allowed my system to rest. I have never just given myself the time and space to do nothing, to just take that me time and do nothing. Me time and rest equals productivity for me up until now. I have to utilize the little time I have to myself to be productive, to develop myself, to get to know my shadow sides, to reveal my ego, to think about the messages that I want to share with you guys. Everything has been put into these very small, seldom pauses and breaks in my life. And that is why I don't feel like having any New Year's resolutions. I feel like having one goal for 2026, which is to trust my body's own natural intelligence. Not make any big grand plans or goals, not decide how to work on myself because I don't want to. I don't need to work on myself. I need to be able to integrate what I have already worked on. I need to allow my system to integrate and rest and find peace and learn to be bored again. I watched a video last night from Annie Paquette saying that healing becomes an obsession, and I couldn't agree more. We are so into this working on ourselves and healing things and becoming more that she said it's like always preparing and working on your garden, but never having the time to actually go outside and enjoy what you have created in that garden. And I think that was such a nice way of putting it. So I think I will link to that video because it's a very good one. But that's what I have been doing. I have been working on my garden for years and years and years and never given myself any time or space or peace to just go outside and sit in that garden and enjoy the sight of what I have done and feel the peace that all that work was always intended to make me feel. Think about it. We keep working on ourselves because we want to feel good. We want to feel peace. We want to feel whole. But if we always keep pushing, if we always use these pauses and breaks and call it me time, when what we're doing is just giving our systems even more to work on, how will we ever enjoy that garden and feel that peace and feel good about it? So I have no clue what this year will look like for me, and I love it. I love it. I have already, for a week now, been trusting my body's intelligence in different ways, meaning I have been exchanging my routines and habits with intuition. I just do things because I feel like doing them, or I don't do things if I don't feel like doing them. I eat whatever I feel like eating in the moment, and when I feel like eating, I rest without feeling bad about it. I make no plans for an entire weekend or an entire week. I just allow myself to be bored, and I actually lay myself down in bed and stare at the ceiling for 10 minutes. I go outside in my garden, drink coffee, no phone, no book, no notes, just allowing myself to be, teaching my body, my nervous system, it is okay to rest. And I get the urge to work on something, to reflect on something, because what happens now when I just let things be and let my body run the show for me instead of my mind, what happens is that all of these different emotions come to the surface because my body finally feels it has the safety and the space to release these old emotions. And so, of course, my mind's initial response is I need to write this down. What did I just learn about myself? This is so interesting. And I have to stop myself from doing that. Because here is what I mean by trusting my body's intelligence. We need to trust that all of the work we have done on ourselves, our body remembers, our system remembers. Because I often fall into the trap of feeling that I need to remind the universe or myself of what I want in life and what I don't want in life, as if I'm afraid of forgetting that. But I have been feeding my system both the wants and the not wants for years. I know this. My system knows this. Even the things that I consciously don't know yet, my body knows. Because it knows how it has reacted to all of the things in my life. What has felt good and what didn't feel good. And I just remember coming across this sentence recently that said, our body heals when we stop looking at it. And that is so true. I keep talking about how this wound, a finger cut, a paper cut in the finger will heal if we just don't pick at it. So we need to trust that we have been reflecting enough, doing the inner work enough, doing the healing work enough, that we just need to take a step back and let our body do its job. Our body is so intelligent, it knows how to do its job without us having to interfere with anything. Actually, it does its job better when we get out of its way. Now, I'm not saying that self-reflection and inner work is never good for you, of course, because we are going through life being unconscious of so many things that sometimes needs to come into the light, and that's great. But there's a line between bringing things up in the light and then keep picking at them, keep reminding ourselves of them. That just keeps telling our system, you are not whole, you are not done yet, you need to keep working on things. But maybe your body just wants to catch a break from that. Maybe it just wants to get some time and space to integrate all of the work you have done until now. Not make any more plans, not make any more conscious plans to work on yourself, to rid yourself of things. Just trust that your body knows how to do that. And the only thing you need to do is get out of its way and learn to be bored. Learn to have some me time without being productive. Because our bodies, they are productive in their own ways if we give them the space for that. So now I sleep more. I don't tend to all of my routines. I don't spend all of my free time working or reflecting on things. I just allow myself to be bored. And I think the reason why I'm feeling so great about it is that deep down I have the belief that by allowing my body to decide what it wants from now instead of my mind, and just giving it the space and time it needs, letting old emotions and things surface without me feeling the need to analyze and reflect on them, just trusting that my body will give me the messages I need to hear, and not every sensation is a message. Sometimes it's just my body ridding myself of things. Animals do that naturally all the time. They even shake to release themselves from trauma, but we hold back. So what I've actually been noticing lately is that when I relax, this is the first time I can remember having been this relaxed and bored, and my muscles just start twitching because it's finally relaxed enough to let go of that excess tension. And I am sure I am carrying so much old tension and old things stored in my body that never was allowed to come to the surface because my mind took over the show and told my body how to work on that instead of trusting my body's own natural intelligence. So if you are not feeling your New Year's resolutions or you haven't found any, maybe this is your story too. Maybe it's your body just asking for some time and space to be bored, to relax, to actually relax. Your nervous system wants to feel at peace again. And even when we are doing good things, as in inner work, that is still over time telling the nervous system that it can never truly relax. It just needs to keep working on things. So if this is floating your boat right now, maybe what you need for 2026 is to allow yourself to be bored again, to not make all of these plans, to not set all of these goals, other than letting your body decide for once and just trusting that your body knows what to do. Your mind is not necessarily the one that knows better for your body. Your body has its own intelligence, so just get out of its way. And I believe that by doing this for a while now, I will actually make room for new inspirations, for new desires, for new wants that can take place in me naturally without me trying to just drag them out of nowhere, thinking that I always need to know what I want and how it's going to happen and how I'm going to work on it. I'm just going to chill, have no plans. And I don't think I will be spending my entire year on the couch watching TV because of that. I think I will actually finally open for all of the desires and wants that I have stored by all of these years working on myself to come to the surface naturally and to unfold naturally. And I'm excited and I am relaxed for the first time in years and years. And I can highly recommend it, you guys. Thank you.